Okay, we'll start off this haul with some new FPV cameras from Kennex. I think these are some micro cameras. This one here is an S1 2.1mm lens NTSC. And then we have here a Turbo F1 2.1mm and PAL, both 5 to 40 volts. I think this is also an this is also an S1. So I think the S1 is the CCD and the F1 is a CMOS camera. So the S1 would be like kind of like a Micro Swift, and then the F1 here would be more like a Sparrow, I believe. So let me take a look at these. Okay, so these two here are the S1, and I have one in yellow and one in green. So this packaging is pretty nice. You can see here we got a little OSD joystick here for controlling your settings. You get the camera, and then you got it's like a little mounting bracket. And it's all nicely packaged. And the green one here is the 2.3mm lens. Here the yellow one is the 2.1mm lens. So the lenses are a little bit different. I think this 2.3 is going to be a little bit a narrower field of view, and you can see it's also got a little longer focal length as well. This is pretty much the same size as the Micro Swift, I believe, but the case is a little bit different. It's got more curves. I think it actually looks nicer. We'll take a look here at the back. And we have instead of the 3 and 2 setup, we have basically 4 pins, and one is going to be for your OSD. So this is more like an HS1177. I think that's why you have a different OSD joystick here. And yeah, at least this camera looks quite a bit different than the Micro Swift. It's not a clone at all. Yeah, very, very different looking. And this is the Turbo F1 with the 2.1mm lens. So looks totally different from the 2.1mm lens of the S1. These cameras feel lighter. I don't know what it is. They just feel a little bit lighter. Maybe it's this casing. This casing does feel like it's a little bit more hollow and thin, perhaps. Not sure how this camera, if it's oriented this way, and then the connections over here, or if this is upside down. It's kind of interesting. Well, I guess we'll find out when I do the review. Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff here from iFlight RC, some motors and FPV camera here. This one is, what's this one called? This is the R1 Mini NTSC 5 to 40 volts. Got some instructions. It looks kind of like a mini Swift, and this looks like a lot like a RunCam manual. Maybe this is actually made by RunCam, I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, here's a quick look at the camera. We have a 2.3mm lens. Yeah, definitely a mini Swift style case here. You got the 3 screw holes on the side. And it looks like it's a 4-pin connector. You got your power, ground, video, and your OSD. This is more like an HS1177 style connector, so it doesn't have the separate 3 pins for power and the 2 pins for the OSD like the Mini Swift. So it's got the Mini Swift case, but the connector on the circuit board is like the HS1177. So obviously this is a little bit different camera, probably not made by RunCam. And here are the accessories, Allen wrenches, and you got some screws and nuts, and got your OSD joystick cable here, and some brackets for mounting, and looks like the OSD is a 4-pin connector, so it's definitely like the HS1177. Okay, you got a bunch of motors, and let's see what these are. These are the 2506 2450 kV. I think they've sent me a set of these for the Dragon Teeth build, so I got some more of these. I think we'll probably put them on something else. I've seen these before, 2506 2450 kV motors, really big and heavy, but they produce a lot of power. And we got some 2205 2500 kV, another part of the Ion series. A little bit more typical size motor here. It's much smaller, going to be more lightweight, but they still look pretty powerful. These come with short motor wires, so not really designed for your 4-in-1 ESCs. The magnets are strong, but not too strong. And we got a 2207 2500 kV motor here, so something a little bit in between. Yeah, so pretty big size. It's going to be not as heavy as the 2506, obviously. This is going to draw a lot of amps too, and we have the short motor wires, so you're going to be using your individual ESCs with this one, or you're going to have to lengthen up the wires. But yeah, the cogging feels the same. Similar magnets. They're not too thick. And there's debate is whether they're really super thick magnets or not, but they look like they're adequate, and windings are nice too, just like on the other two motors. Okay, got another brushless micro from iFlight, and this was, I think, completely built, and there's no information on the outside of the box. I think they're just using a generic box for all their built micros. We got a bag here with some stickers and it looks like some instructions. Yes, this is the iX2 Tiny and has a fly tower with a 25 milliwatt 48 channel VTX. Looks like it has a F3 flight controller, 10 amp 4-in-1 AC, 1104 7500 kV motors. I believe this is a 2-inch micro. Got some spare Gemfan 2035s. Got a lot of these. Got some spare standoffs and another camera mount. Looks like this thing comes with the Runcam TX25 add-on for the video transmitters, just in documentation with the video transmitter channels. Got some Velcro for your battery and some dual lock for the battery as well. Got some accessory cables for the micro Swift, it looks like. You got the mount and the additional video cables. And they're including a bunch of extra M2 screws. It looks like you got some silver ones here for the probably shorter ones for taking the prop guards off. And here's what the drone looks like. And you can see here, I think it's a 90 or 95 millimeter motor to motor. You got the dual lock on the bottom. I'm going to be getting rid of that. Going to get rid of the prop guards of these. I don't like flying with these. They just add additional weight and unnecessary. But it looks like it's maybe it's a dead cat style. It's a little bit wider in the front and narrow in the back. And we have a micro Swift here instead of the all-in-one. I believe this previous version of this came with an all-in-one, or actually they're probably still selling that version as well. But this is like the upgraded version. Comes with a micro Swift camera. I think this is a 2.1 millimeter lens. Yeah, it's a 2.1 millimeter lens. And you have the TX25 on the back there. But you can see that with all this stuff here, your camera angle is a little bit limited. I think it's probably about 10-15 degrees. So yeah, if you're looking for more camera angle, you might have to maybe use a different camera mount. Perhaps maybe flip it around. I'm not sure. I'll look at that later. Looks like this comes with a receiver. I'm not sure which one it is. Looks like it might be a FlySky receiver. Little micro antenna here. You got your whip antenna for the video transmitter. I think that's soldered on. 4-in-1 10 amp ESC. Looks like you got an Omnibus F3 flight controller. Probably has an OSD. Yeah, it has an OSD. You can see the extra wires there. Got a buzzer, an LED. I got the iPower motors here, the 1104 7500 kV motors. These are pretty good motors. And of course the Gemfan 2-inch props. So probably gonna run this 2S or 3S. Although if you're gonna run 3S, you probably want to switch out the GST for XT30. They upgraded the camera, but they didn't upgrade the connector. They should do that. Very thick frame, it looks like. Not sure what the weight is, but it feels hefty, so it looks like it's going to be pretty durable. But we'll cover this in more detail in the review later. Okay, got another brushless micro from iFlight RC. I think this is different. They're using the same box here. So stickers and probably the same, similar instructions in here. So you got your extra stuff here that comes with the Runcam, the TX25, dual lock again. And this is actually the Strider X2, I believe. It's basically the same as the one I reviewed before, but this one now comes with the micro Swift, and that's the one with the 2.1 millimeter lens. And they're using the TX25 for the video transmitter. You just got your antenna sticking out here. So basically, it's basically the same drone as before, but instead of using an all-in-one CMOS camera, they're now switching to this Runcam Micro Swift with the TX25, basically turning into an all-in-one. But now you have the CCD camera, so it's pretty nice. And we got the the same props, the same 2.4-inch props. So yeah, definitely an upgrade. And if you're looking for better video quality, you should probably get this model over the older one with the CMOS camera. But of course, we'll check that out in the review. This looks like the same frame as the Stretch X as before, and I got rid of the prop guards in that one. I'll do the same here. Probably got the same stack here. This one looks like it comes with a receiver. I'm not sure which one it is. And we have the iPower motors again, the 1106, 6000 kV. These are good motors, pretty good power. This is pretty hefty. It will survive a lot of crashes. Very durable frame. So again, a JSD connector back here. They should be going with a XT30, and it's just dangling back here. There's nothing really holding on, so you're going to have to zip tie this to one of the arms so that it doesn't rip off the pads on the 4-in-1 ESC. Anyway, I'll talk about this more a little later in the full review, so stay tuned. Okay, got another drone here. I'm not sure what's in here. Comes in a nice case. It's zippered. Okay, I think this one is called like the IX3 Monkey or something like that. I'll put a little thing up here on the screen because I don't remember what it's called, but this is a 3-inch racer. Pretty nice. Yeah, it's got these iForce motors. Let's see, what are these? 1407 4100 kV. So yeah, some big motors on here. Really thick frame. That's like 3 millimeters. And then you got some nice side plates here for your camera mount. Looks like it's got that same race cam camera that I was showing you earlier. So this comes built with it already in. Sounds kind of nice. Got a video transmitter here, just kind of zip tied in place. It's kind of strange. It's just kind of sitting here loose, no antenna. Looks like here's a little pigtail probably for a receiver, the server connection, most likely. It looks like it's using 20 by 20 hardware. Not sure what kind of flight stack's in there. You got a buzzer stuck to the side here. Interesting. Yeah, this looks like could be pretty nice flyer. A lot of these 3-inch micros are starting to come out now with some really beefy motors. They're just going to be so fast. Let's see what else we got in the box. So it looks like that video transmitter is the FX799T. They just threw the case in here. There's the whip antenna. You got some additional cables, little connectors and stuff. That's all included with that. So they just threw that in the case, and obviously they include the user manual. And it's got some spare screws. And it looks like they include a little stubby Pagoda antenna here. It's iFlight branded, and this is designed by Martin Vert. Right hand circular polarized, and it looks like it's an SM. Yeah, it's an SMA antenna. Some more hardware. Looks like some landing feet and nuts and screws and stuff. And this looks some sort of TPU printed, maybe battery pad. It looks like this goes on the bottom of the battery, maybe like it gives you some angle for taking off. It's interesting. Looks like the battery strap goes through there. Yeah, this is just the OSD joystick and camera mount for the camera. So it doesn't look like it comes with a receiver or a battery. Okay, we got another drone here in the same style case here, but I think it's a different drone. Okay, this is a full-size drone here. It's for 5-inch props. Okay, this is pretty nice. It's a pretty beefy frame. I forgot the name of this. I'll put the name of it up here on the screen. I'll have to look it up later, but you got the same race cam here that I showed before. I think this is their new camera. They're using that pretty much everywhere. We got some iPica 45 amp BLHeli 32 ESCs, pretty nice. Got the ion motors here, 2506, 2450 kV, really heavy. I mean, this thing is pretty beefy, but I think it's going to have a lot of power. And it looks like we got the battery mounting for the bottom. You got a little battery pad on the bottom as well. And you got looks like this one comes with a capacitor. So they're doing that for this one. It's nice. Maybe I'll have some pretty good video. The XT60 connector is missing heat shrink here, so I'll probably heat shrink that. Got a little pigtail here for your receiver, so it doesn't look like it comes with a receiver. You got a little pigtail for your video transmitter antenna there. And you got looks like a single board, looks like a all-in-one board here for your flight controller and PDB. So all the ESCs are soldered directly to that, and then you have a single board here for your video transmitter. I'm hoping that's probably got the smart audio feature. It would be nice if it does. And it looks like you can put your GoPro up here on top. Pretty nice drone overall. I think it's a True X. And this, I mean, this feels really beefy, really, I'm not sure how thick that is. Looks like it's 4 millimeters at least. Very heavy. With these motors, I heard, are crazy power, like 1700 grams of power. So you're going to need some really strong batteries to fly this guy. Okay, so I got another micro drone from SPC Maker. I think this is the 80A, I believe. So you get the nice case again. You get 2 sets of spare props here. I think these are 1.9 inch props. 2 batteries. These are a different form factor than the other 500 milliamp hour batteries. 30C, 2S. They're a little bit flatter, not as tall or not as fat. So more flat and wider. Get the SPC Maker branded Velcro battery strap. Get some zip ties, Velcro, and here are the screws for the props. It's all the same typical stuff that these SPC Maker models come with. This is the foam here is cut out to just barely fit this model, and it looks like it's wedged in there really good. It's kind of hard to get out. You can definitely store this in here with the props on. Once you get them on, you can stick it back in the box. It's just different from some of the other ones. We have a cage style. You got basically two plates here forming a cage, so this should be well protected in crashes. And I'm not sure I'd be flying something like this indoors. It does feel a bit heavy. With the 2S battery, you're going to need a little bit larger indoor space for this. But yeah, if you're thinking about flying this indoors, you're going to need something a little bit bigger. And we got the same motors that we've seen before, the 1104 7500 kV motors. I believe these are Sunny Sky rebrands. I believe this is a 10 amp 4-in-1 AC, and we have a flight controller in there. I believe it's an F3 flight controller, not an F4. And looks like they sent me the Spectrum version. I got a DSMX receiver there. We have an all-in-one camera, VM2751, not the Microswift, so I guess it makes it a little bit lighter. But obviously with 2 of these carbon hoops here, this is going to be a fairly hefty model. So let's see how well this flies. It should fly okay. I mean, obviously in 2S, but it's definitely not going to be a speed demon. We'll find out later in the review.